amazing head sculpt from a lackluster movie. Hi everyone, welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to take a look at the newly released, highly anticipated Hot Toys 1/6 scale Scarlet Witch from Doctor Strange 2, or Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness. Full disclosure on this, did not like the movie. Yeah, just thought it was awful. Wasn't a fan at all. Not on the same level as Thor 4 or Thor Love and Thunder. I think Thor is here, Love and Thunder. And then above it we have this, but to me, just really didn't hit that. This was kind of like the start of the real downfall, as far as as far as I can see from the MCU. Anyway, like I've said unapologetically, I did not like. Haven't rewatched any of the Marvel Disney Plus TV shows. I've watched WandaVision. I've watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I've watched Loki season 1 and 2. I've watched Hawkeye. I've watched Miss Marvel. Bloody She-Hulk. Moon Knight, watched them all. Some of them started off okay, but no, will not, have not, and revisited and rewatched any of them because I just don't think they are good. Not worth my time, to be quite honest with you. While there was pros and cons, it was just overwhelmingly mostly cons as far as I'm concerned. Then the MCU at the moment is, look, I'm not going to give up on it because I am a fan, and I think you have to stick through the thick and the thin. But let's be honest, since Endgame, there's been No Way Home, which was, you know, top tier. Then there was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, really enjoying that as well. But I mean, Thor, Love and Thunder, awful. This movie, did not enjoy this movie at all. Although I did think it was better than Thor, Love and Thunder. And what's that? The Marvels, that was terrible. Completely terrible. Again, just my opinion. If it offends you, I recommend finding a good therapist. It would be a boring world if we were all the same. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments section. Respectfully, folks, I didn't like it. If you liked it, fine. It'd be a boring world if we all liked the exact same thing. Now, this figure here, I do like Elizabeth Olsen. I do like her portrayal as Wanda, or Scarlet Witch. And I thought she was the strongest thing of this movie. Just seeing her go like... just basically turn evil and just wreck the gaff. I really enjoyed that when she was taking apart the fantastic, not the, what you call it, the Illuminati with the, you know, what's your man, Captain Fantastic, and is it John Krasinski and stuff like that, and then Peggy Carter, Captain Carter. Just, yeah, really enjoyed that bit of it. So there were aspects of this movie I quite enjoyed, but overall it didn't stick the landing for me. This head sculpt absolutely sticks the landing. I think this is one of those head sculpts I've always said. A good head sculpt is when you can take just the head, okay, just the head of the character, whether it's male or female, just the kind of unmasked sculpt without the kind of the body, or without the tiara or crown or whatever it's called here, and just show it to someone who mightn't even be a fan of MCU or science fiction or comic books or whatever, but you can show it to them and go, that's Robert Downey Jr., that's Elizabeth Olsen, that's Christian Bale, or that's whoever it is. And I think this falls into that category. If people know who Elizabeth Olsen is, if they see this minus the tiara and the outfit and nothing that would associate her with Wanda or the Scarlet Witch, I do think that if people would recognize that this is Elizabeth Olsen. Really impressed by this head sculpt. I gotta say, this is, it's a 9 anyway. There's no question in my mind. Fantastic sculpt. I don't have a wand in my collection. It also necessarily wouldn't fall into the triple threat category. As in, typically, I need to love the source material or movie or TV show, love that character, and then love that version. Iron Man Mark III, perfect example. Apologies if you can hear the dog there. He's getting very excited down there. Love the Mark III. So love Iron Man, love the first Iron Man movie, and love the Mark III. Easy. Or the DX-19. Love the character Batman, love the Dark Knight, and the DX-19 is my favorite Batman suit. Wanda doesn't necessarily fall into that category. I respect Elizabeth Olsen's talent as an actress. Obviously, she's a very beautiful woman, and I really like what she's done so far in the MCU. And even this movie, which I didn't like, I thought she was still really good in it. She was the best part of it. Even WandaVision, I really liked her performance in that, but I didn't necessarily like the actual overall story or whatever. Right, so look, let's take a look at this, because it probably won't be coming home. Actually, it's not coming home. I didn't like the movie. If I was to get a Wanda, even though it's not the Scarlet Witch, it'd be the Endgame one, because I loved Endgame, and also I have a lot of Endgame figures, and it just would make sense to fit in. It would fit in better in my collection. Anyway, I'll stop ranting. There's two versions of this. There's the deluxe and the regular. The deluxe, we'll just take a quick look at the deluxe. It's $325. The regular is $300. Now we'll just take a look at, first of all, the difference between the regular and the deluxe, just in case you're considering getting any of these figures. That dog is going mad down there. Right, this is the deluxe for $325. If you get the deluxe for $325, this is everything that she comes with. Bear in mind, especially if you're new, it's $325, but then you got to factor in delivery, and you got to factor in maybe import or customs charges. That's what we got to do in Ireland. That's why I can't really buy from Sideshow. It's too expensive. It makes this expensive hobby even more expensive. But if you don't get the deluxe, it's $300, and it comes with everything you see here, minus the candle diorama and that's a dream walking special effect, which, to be honest, I don't think much of those special effects, whether they're electricity effects or magic effects, or whether they're blue or red or yellow, I just think they take a really good 1/6 scale figure with the realism and all that stuff, and it just cheapens it, in my opinion. Again, each to their own. It'd be a boring world if we were all the same. This head sculpt's amazing. I can definitely see Elizabeth Olsen here. I think they've absolutely nailed it. I don't think it has separate rolling eyeballs function. But I still think there's a lot of life in the eyes. Now, there's better images as well. I think they've got the proportions of her body quite well. I really like the material they've used here. I don't think it will hold up too great over time. If you are getting this, look, if you're putting into those poses, it can pose quite well from these images you'll see later on. But maybe consider the pose you're having it in for long term, because I'd imagine this is going to crease and wrinkle and stretch, and maybe it won't return to normal if you take it out of those extreme poses with extreme bends on the joints. But I think the sculpted hair looks great in this. I like the way the tiara is sitting. I just don't think much. In fact, I don't think anything at all of these plastic effects. I just think they look like junk. Pretty cool that you can get her into that pose. Obviously, I'd imagine they're using a stand or something here, and they photoshopped it out. I do believe that candle diorama on the bottom, I think it's, I don't know, is it cheap plastic or cardboard? This looks stunning. The star of the show here is the head sculpt, but like the figure itself, the head sculpt, the paint apps, the sculpted hair, the outfit, the proportions of the body, and the articulation. This looks like I think a lot of people who had this on pre-order are going to be very, very happy. Even I love like the tattered and torn, the holes in her kind of a, what would you call it, cape, skirt, whatever it is, seems to be attached on or around her hips. I think these parts are cool as well. If you just zoom in these parts, see here, they're kind of on her hips. It's almost like where the cape attaches to her, or kind of like holds down the cape, just kind of like, say, on the left and right hip. I like those kind of panels, the kind of pointy panels or whatever, those bits of material. They look like leather. I'm sure they're plastic, or I don't think they're leather. I'm not sure. Yeah, again, can't say enough about this head sculpt. I think the blogger photographers have done a good job as well. Yeah, I would, as much as I think it's cool that it can go into that pose, I wouldn't leave it in that pose. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about this. This isn't too bad. See the way she's just holding with her right arm. She's holding the dark hold, I believe it's called, and it has a magic effect there that's kind of making the dark hold look like it's levitating above. I'd probably use that. Like, I don't. The only effects I've used have been flamethrower effects for the Mandalorian characters or the incinerator trooper when I had it. And I have a Big Chief Studios Tommy Shelby. You probably can't see it there, but he's smoking a cigarette, and there's a little smoke effect that comes out. And I remember, first of all, unboxing that going, yeah, well, that's going to stay in the box. But I gotta say, I'm glad I'm using it, because it actually, just from that bit of distance, it does, like, he has a cigarette in his mouth, and it does look like it's smoking, so it's actually quite cool. So it did surprise me, but no, that does nothing for me now with the dream walking of special effect. Yeah, all in all, this looks good. I think people are going to be very happy with it. It would stick out like a sore thumb in my collection if I was getting a Wanda or Elizabeth Olsen representation of Wanda or Scarlet Witch. It would be the Wanda, the Endgame Wanda, the sculpted one. I don't have any faith in Hot Toys rooted hair, but prove me wrong. You know, I'll wait to see how that Anakin artisan turns out, or that Joker artisan turns out. But even like the Wonder Woman there recently, just before, she was an artisan, but she had the lamb's wool hair. I didn't think much of that even. Any videos or photos I've seen, it looked okay, but it just doesn't look like on the same level as, say, like the in-art rooted hair or custom rooted hair. Yeah, just my opinion anyway. But yeah, that sculpted Endgame Wanda, Wouldn't rule her out, but not rushing out to order it. This looks great. Happy for those people who are looking forward to this. Yeah, stunning looking head sculpt. I don't know, I don't think it's the same head sculpt as the WandaVision one, and even if it is, I think the paint applications and the likeness are better on this one. I don't think it's the exact same, to be honest. I think it's maybe a bit narrow around her face. But yeah, look, let me know your opinion. If you want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, consider becoming a channel member, a trooper, or commander. Shout out to the channel members. Also follow me on Instagram and on X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.